Hello, my favorite Earthlings, and welcome back, sweetheart. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Hi Ho Live. We're really thrilled to have you, and you're in for a great show tonight. We've got a lot of cool stuff lined up. We have a really neat guest, and as usual, we'll do some giveaways and show some cool pictures that folks have sent in, and we'll say hi to everyone in the chat. So just know that we've got a really cool show for you tonight, and are really looking forward to getting to know our guest a little better. So I see we already have quite a few folks in the chat already. So we will get started on that before too long. But one of the things I wanted to do before we got started on too many of the pleasantries is I wanted to say a little piece about our friend who had passed away last night. For those of you who didn't know, Greg Pickens, Finding America, a really cool channel, and I wish I'd have gotten to know him a little bit better. I came in pretty late in the game as far as videos and that kind of thing, but he was one of the very first creators that I really followed on a regular basis, and I truly loved his sense of history. And you could just tell by his videos that he was a really solid citizen and just a kind human being and a kind soul. So we'll have a chance during our show tonight for anybody to bring up remembrances of Greg or their favorite things about Finding America, and so we'll have a chance to do all that. But I just wanted to say sincere condolences to his family. The metal detecting community has lost a really good citizen, and going back to my Navy days, my favorite salutation is has always been fair winds and following seas. So for you nautical folks out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. But so we'll but he would not want us to be somber and all that stuff. He'd want us to have a good time and show metal detecting finds and meet new people and talk about stuff. So that is what we're going to do tonight. But our hearts are a little heavier, and we'll keep him in mind as we go along tonight. So we have a great lineup for Monday Digs. We'll go over that. We have two different giveaways. Hey, we hit the high ho cycle last week, so that means we have a Washington quarter, a Mercury dime, a war nickel, 30%, 35% silver, and a wheat penny, all from the same year. And somebody's going to win that tonight on our first contest. All of those, my promise to you, all of those have been unearthed right here in and around Kansas City, and I swung my coil over them, took care of them coming out of the ground, cleaned them up, and they're going to be on their way to one of you tonight. So I'm really pleased about that. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on the saying hi to folks in the chat. Randy, thanks. Hope you can catch the live stream. Appreciate you chiming in. Hello, Papa Roos. Man, you're just a steady Eddie, buddy. I really appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Um, Good evening, Rick. And I've been mentioning to Papa Roos, congratulations to his 49ers. They're actually doing pretty well, even though they're all banged up. And same for Rick Hayes Steelers. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Good to have you tonight. Hello, Carrie Holder Reed. So glad to have you here. Look who we got in the house, Tim B. Hello, Tim. Good to have you here. I haven't seen you in a while, Neil. I sure hope things are good in your world. And oh, I see you're driving, but thank you for being here, and hopefully keep your hands at 10 and 2. Let's see here, 10 and 2, and listen in. And we've got Cynthia Swearingen. Hello, Cynthia. Love right back at you. Thank you so much for being here. That is very cool. Um, the We've got a couple of folks chiming in on Greg. Looks like we've got Marty Bristol. Hello, Marty. Um, thanks for being in here, and I hope things over on your side of the state or across the state line are doing well. And we have ah we've got Randy creeping in there a little bit, so that's very cool. Um, we've got, as always, Jim Steele in the house. He's well represented in the contest tonight. Thank you for being here, Jim. I appreciate that very much. Very much, I do. Yeah, you're right, Tim. That's that is a big loss for sure. Um, and 5 Mile. Good to see you, brother. Boy, I'm thrilled to have you here, and thrilled with those Chiefs. Man, that was really a convincing win. And I know that Oakland is just a shell of their former team, but sure looks like we're on the right track, having Rasheed Rice back in there and a full complement of receivers there. So I'm thrilled about that. Little Birdie told me that we have a guest lined up here pretty soon, so we'll we'll be adding them in shortly. So thanks 5 Mile. Thanks for saying that. And boy, I tell you, the weather has held out for us here in the Midwest for that hunting. The ground's been dry, but man, the weather's been nice for it. So, another thing I didn't mention in my opening was thank you for those who made it through our live last week from Florida. I thought I had my camera set up well, and boy, when I went back and looked at it, that the photo quality of the dock scene there just was not what I was expecting at all. So. Uh, Everybody who sat through that, thank you. You guys are salt of the earth for sure. And so thank you for that. And it was a great vacation, and I had to dash out of there, but what a great time! And I've got lots of cool footage. A couple of neat things happened down there, so really happy about that. And we got Randy. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say go Skins, but I I'll say the Chiefs are playing the Commanders next week, so I'll look. I'm hoping for a win there. I think Daniels might be out, so we'll have to see about that. Um, Welcome back, sweetheart. Look at that, Angie and Rick in the house, and I'm so glad to see you guys here. I hope you're doing well there in West Virginia. And yeah, we've got another comment here for about hearts and prayers go out to Greg and and his family. It is a hard loss, and he's a just a good guy. And if let me put this up, I'm going to navigate the banners here. As we go along tonight, we do have a very special guest, and I don't want to override, Patrick and Amphibious detecting. But as we go along, if you have something you want to share about Greg Pickens or Finding America, anything that touched your heart about that, anything you'll miss there, you're certainly welcome to put it in. And again, he wouldn't want us to be all down in the mouth and sad about things. But that's very appropriate for tonight. Would be to remember him in the way that you want. Okay, so let's go back to our chat there. And um, Patrick, I don't know if can you hear me? Gotcha. We've got some time here. Randy says, diehard Skins fan through and through the good and bad. Yep. And there's been some really good times, but it's been pretty lean lately. I think you guys did a great job of getting rid of Dan Snyder, and I think there's probably better things in store down the road than he was bringing in. Okay, so another again shameless plug here. we at Hi Ho Live, I'm really interested in keeping this fun and lighthearted and that kind of stuff. So if you have pictures of finds you want to send in, that's great, and I'll do my best to get them on there live. Certainly, I can get them up there the following week. But if you have pictures of yourself kissing a fish, please send those in. And so far, Randy Riddles and 5 Mile Relic Hunter are leading the pack with the only two submissions of them actually kissing a fish. So I appreciate that. And if you got any goofy pictures or you want to make fun of Hi-Ho Silver or whatever, then you're welcome to throw those in. But I'd love, and I've got some cool pictures and video clips to share tonight of my recent trip and other stuff that folks have sent in. So I appreciate that, and I'd really love to make that a regular thing on Hi Ho Live is pictures of the funny, remarkable, and or even videos of things that have happened there. Okay, Patrick, are we in pretty good shape? How you doing? Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and catch up with the comments here. Die Hard skins through and through. Yep. Yep. I love that. Um, Jim, I agree with that sentiment. Uh, Finding America will be missed. It was one of the first, and actually tonight we have our guest is one of the first folks who I followed regularly and really influenced the early part of my own treasure path. And here we go. Uh, Greg was the first metal detecting channel I started following. Helped me set up my channel. A great friend. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Randy. Um, Well, hello, Relic Rat. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that very much. Okay, Randy, send that to me. I may not be able to show it tonight, but send me a picture of a funny video or that kind of thing, and I promise to have it up there next week. And hello, Anna. Good to see you here tonight. Looking forward to your video and appreciate you being here. And I'm gonna thanks for the email earlier this week. I'm going to share what you sent over. So I appreciate that very much. Let's see. We got the other folks in the house, but mostly just saying hi to each other. Um, so I believe without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and queue up our guests for tonight. And so, Patrick, thank you for being here. I appreciate that so much. And for those of you who don't know, or maybe we can refresh your memory, that type of thing. This is Patrick Wynn from Amphibious Detecting. So
How's it going?
thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate that. How are you doing?
Just living. What about you?
Well, actually, life is pretty good, and
Yeah,
I feel I feel blessed beyond merit most days, and so I'm thrilled with that. But first of all, I want to thank you for being being willing to come on and I
well,
didn't.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, oh, you're quite welcome. I didn't even realize it, but when I was talking to Ohio River History, he has helped me set up my channel and kind of got me introduced to this live streaming, some other things. But when I mentioned to him that you were going to be one of the guests, he goes, "Oh, I love Patrick," and he said, "Go look at the video from last year." And that I had no idea, but so you're even though you might not be posting regularly right this second, you've made a positive impact on the treasure hunting community, and that's really a cool deal.
That's good.
Uh,
That's good news.
yeah, it is. It is. So let me get your banner up there, and I'm going to say, put your question for Patrick in there, and don't let me miss it. So, if you see, can you see the chat as it goes by?
N- Uh,
Okay, that's fine. I'll just try to keep an eye on it because I'm pretty sure folks will have some questions for you. But and I don't want to try to get too far behind on it. but I want to say a couple of things about your impact on me personally. So we all have our own stories, and that's kind of one of our powers that we really have is we have this unique thing that's ours, right? So I never, I enjoyed videos, but I never dreamed of, putting anything on a video or having my own channel or anything like that. I did look at other creators and I thought that's very interesting, but I didn't even really aspire to it so much as I did. I thought, well, if I wanted to or I put enough effort in, it's something I might be able to do, right? So, but I would look at videos and I'd never even commented on one before. I'd never even gone as far as, putting my 2 cents in on a video or something like that. And I just fell in love with. I watched three guys. Finding America was one of them. You and Paystreak out of on the West Coast. His name's Paystreak. Yeah. Anyway,
Mhm.
I learned a lot about detecting because I was a very new detector. I just completely new. So anyway, I commented on a couple of your videos, and you actually reached out to me and asked me to send you some photos of the toys and other things that I'd found over the year. I think you were doing a year in review or something along those
Mm.
lines. But anyway, it was the first time I'd ever had any interaction with a content creator. And I thought, wow, this is really cool, right? So I sent you
We
all my
started,
stuff,
we're
and
all just normal people.
yeah, oh yeah, how about that? So I sent you my stuff, and then you were kind enough to you asked me to give you candid feedback on your videos, and I had no idea how valuable that is. I just when you don't know, right? So I did. I reviewed some videos and gave you my honest opinion, and it was so cool your feedback. I could tell just with the interaction. First of all, your videos really grabbed me because Greg excuse me, Finding America is very factual and kind of a real slow pace, and it's really interesting. But it's his version of things. And Paystreak is this guy that he just zips through everything. It's all live digs and just swing, 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 swing. And there's a little bit of commentary, but there's nothing dressy or I'll say even very much like introspective or historical about it. You were in a different place where you had plenty of history, but you had this fun nature that really grabbed me. I wanted to see the next video. I wanted to see the next fun thing that you were doing.
Don't make
And
me cry, man.
well, it's the truth. And so I remember one time I emailed you back or something like that, and I said I have watched every single one of your videos, and you're the first content creator that I've ever went back and did that stuff to. Since then, I've actually asked you a couple of times about content creation in your channel, and you've given me such thoughtful feedback and answers and that kind of thing. So that is the main reason why I wanted to have you on. Number one, to say thanks, and then number two, just to see how you're doing and how's life I know I'm asking you two or three questions and not giving you a chance to answer much, but thank you for being here, and I'd love to catch up with anything you want to tell the treasure hunting world about.
Gosh. Well, I appreciate all the kind words, that's for sure.
They're
Um,
very true.
let's see. I spent 13 and a half years working in Albany, New York, being a vocational automotive teacher. And I'd finally
Cool.
had enough of that. So I transferred districts and I teach much closer to home now, which is beautiful because if we didn't have this time shift coming up, hi Cynthia, um, I'd be able just to detect all the time. But in the past years, I've had so many hobbies, and one of them I was into restoring and working on old cars
Right.
and stuff like that. And so last July, not this past summer, probably 2 summers ago, I was right at the end of probably 7 or 8 years of selling off stuff. I had
Mhm.
this, like we're all treasure hunters in our own way. And when I was a young man, my father used to take me to these vintage car shows, and we could never have old cars. It was one of those. It was like, oh
Right.
gosh,
Right.
here's the
Right.
piece of candy, but you can't have.
Yeah.
So when I first started working, I went through this phase of I think I've bought 190 different vehicles now,
Oh
and they
my.
were all really junk, you
Right.
know? So it's like over the years, I'd find stuff, I'd drag it out of barns, I'd pour my heart and soul into it, get it going, and then it would leave. And I never, I really, what I should have probably been doing was recording that stuff, and I never did because that was like my passion project. And detecting for me was always a mental escape from all like the other stuff going on.
Right.
And I still love the clarity of that. You know, when you're out in the
Mhm.
woods and you're thinking about the things that you're finding, it's like, wow, 150 years ago, someone was right here and they dropped
Yes.
this thing. Why did they drop this or that? And the mystery behind it, right? But with cars, I was really at a point where I had to consolidate the thought. And I thought I got there last summer, and I decided, maybe I'll cheat a little bit. I'll buy a little car here. And I ended up with
Right.
two more cars last year, and they ate my soul.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
put like 300 hours into them over the winter time, and neither one of them panned out. I probably lost 7 or 8 grand on the pair, which is fine.
Yeah.
It sucks to take the loss, but it's like I'm in a much better place now with all of that. But I volunteer a lot. I work 2 jobs. I'm getting my master's degree, which I've never had to do because of the nature of my job has changed.
Right.
So I am looking forward to getting back to detecting at some point, but the joy
Mhm.
of sitting and editing on the computer has been completely consumed by
Right.
me having to do all this online college stuff that I wasn't doing.
Yeah.
So
That actually brings up a couple of things because finally getting my master's degree as an adult, I got mine in my 40s. Um, it was very time consuming,
yeah,
and it was just when the internet and online stuff was coming out, and I had the elective. I could take a couple of my classes online if I wanted to. I won't do that again, man. They just poured it all the reading and writing.
I
It
know.
just it was easier to take the time to go to school than it was to do it from home.
I'm being
But
a bit of a baby about it for sure. I mean,
yeah,
it's just, I feel like in education, it's one of those arbitrary requirements where there's no tangible benefit outside of the college harvesting money.
right,
You
right,
know, it really, I bet this is my 16th year teaching. I'm really struggling to find where this information is somehow beneficial,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I got to do it. So,
right, right. I remember one of the things I was asking about was the you. First of all, you've helped me in so many ways about content creation. You really drove it home about do your best to show everything from the view from the perspective of the viewer. And I probably knew that a little bit cognitively, but wasn't putting the proper effort into doing that. So I really appreciate that. The other one you said, because I was nearing the place and I just have crossed the threshold now, the first threshold of monetization. And one of my comments to you was, man, I'm not sure if I'm going to do all of this stuff without getting monetized because it's all this extra work to do the video. And you just said a very simple statement, but it really helped me. And it was, well, I find the filming of my hunts, it gives me a new perspective. It makes it fun and intriguing in a different way. And
yeah.
I hadn't looked at it like that. I'd looked at it like extra work, and it really made a difference.
Well, trust me, I wish I need to sit down with the creators of GoPro and really push them to try and create a feature where, as you're using voice command recording, say,
Hmm.
hey, rather than stop recording, like give us a different command so that it wipes that clip. Because
Right,
I would say every time I was going out, I was filming around 180 holes that I did because I'd film every
right,
single
right,
target. That's the only way to really authentically do this. It would save so much time. Like from a computer standpoint, right? It's eating all the hard drive just downloading these files. Then you have to go through and find out what was the ones we're
right.
keeping. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think that like the way that I started to think about it was maybe someday I'll watch these videos. They're great memories. But when
Hmm.
you're putting it all together in the computer where you're doing the research and then it's trying to communicate, well, this thing came from this location. What's the interesting part about it? Well, maybe it's the location. So let's show that. That it like plays to my childhood inquisitiveness, you know?
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, that's so cool. So I appreciate you helping me with that. I remember too you commenting to you about one of the things I really liked, or one of the aspects I really liked of your channel was the live dig rather than the rather than okay, you're when you start the shot, you've already dug the hole. Well, I've run
yeah,
into the exact same thing you did, and I use the GoPro, and I really do like the GoPro camera. It's just not a perfect situation. So what I've done is I really have just only recorded or only done a live dig on things that I think are going to be silver, because I actually do find a lot of silver, and
sure.
just by the nature of where I'm hunting. But so if I think it's going to be a good target or a valuable target, I'll go ahead and turn the camera on beforehand. But otherwise, I mean, I literally would be, recording 60 pull tabs and 30 bottle caps
Yep,
and pennies, man. I mean, I just get so many pennies, and I won't pass the signal up. I won't pass it up.
you
I'm gonna
can't.
dig it. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
You
So
can't.
anyway, that's yeah. You have helped me in many ways in that regard. So I really do appreciate that. Let's see here. I'm gonna plug along here. I'm gonna see if there's any questions in the chat, but I actually have a question for you. Um, I go until 6:45 my time, which would be 7:45 your time. That's when our first video of the Monday Digs lineup starts. So I'm not trying to monopolize your time. I just am giving you an idea of how long
Sure.
the show is going to go, and you can drop out anytime or whatever you've got to do if you have other things you need to take care of there. But um, that's my timing here.
Okay.
Let's see here. Lucky Duck. I got my master's degree in library science in my 40s, 16 years ago. I I even did summer study abroad as a 40-year-old in Germany. Yeah, that's
And see,
fantastic. Thank
Germany, that's a
you.
place we should be detecting.
Yeah, right. Oh, here's another one from Lucky Duck. And if you haven't seen her channel, it's very cool. She's actually very talented. She's got a quilting channel and some other stuff too. But anyway, she says she videoed her hunts before she even started the channel. So just for her own, yeah,
I think
just
when
for
I
her own
started,
enjoyment.
my father was in pretty poor health, and we didn't have a great relationship. But I always remember back being when I was younger, and he'd come home, and like one of the greatest things that would happen was he would have got a $50 box of pennies from the bank. And we go
Uh-huh.
through and coin roll hunt looking for wheat pennies. So when I
Right.
started finding coins, I used to love recording it and showing that to him. So that was a big motivator for sure, was to, show other people just in my
Right.
environment. Because how do you communicate that? Oh, look, I found these coins. It's
Yeah.
such a small part of the story.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you and Greg, the Finding America, they helped me have either a new or a renewed sense of American history,
Mm.
because I just was kind of oblivious to it before. I'm sure I studied some stuff, but it didn't have the intrigue to me until I started pulling some things out of the ground, and I was like, well, I wonder what this was, or I wonder what that happened to that, or where did this come from? That's another thing that was quite remarkable for you. You remind me of my father in this aspect. Is I swear every single target you pulled out of the ground, you knew exactly what it was, and I was just like, man, I don't. Half the stuff I dig out, I don't know what it is, but that was really cool, and you would almost always have a backstory or just on the fly be able to give some context to what you were finding. That's really a cool skill. How do you develop a skill like that?
Well, let me tell you, there was a period of time where I remember on Facebook there was this group, Abandoned and Neglected Vehicles. Boy,
Okay.
I could
Uh-huh.
identify pretty much any 1930s car based on like two features, and there's hundreds of
Oh,
1930s
cool.
cars. No,
Right.
I've been staring at rusty junk for a long time, and certainly there's a lot of people that are far superior, and I'll misid things. But I think that you see how it is. Once you do this for a while,
Hmm.
it's like the slow building of blocks in the pyramid that leads to a body of knowledge. So
Right.
as you research stuff and you discover things, and I started out metal detecting just like everybody else, and I certainly didn't know what I was finding, and it just takes figuring it out. Like old catalogs, Sears catalogs help from the turn of the
Right.
century. I've got a lot of
Right.
reference material. Talking to other diggers in the community is always super helpful, for
Yeah.
sure.
And we are in the information age now too, and there's so many online resources. Heck, you can just upload a picture into Google, and a lot of times it'll tell you what it is. And some of the relics we have are a little more intricate than that. But so again, another shameless plug, and not trying to step on you, but next week we have our guest is Buckle Boy. And
Mhm.
Buckle Boy has just authored a new book on relic IDs. And so he's going to be introducing that. Um, he's going to be on the show next week and talking about the book that he's just published on that. So very cool. Let's see here. Who else? There's probably some names as we scroll along here that you recognize. This one's for you, Patrick. What's your favorite type of items to hunt for?
This is so. I have this weird affinity towards luggage tags. So that's my favorite thing to hunt
Cool.
for.
Right,
You
right.
know, but they don't come up very often. But there's a couple spots that I've got where I found concentrations of them, and they're always fascinating. I'll grab one here. I'm
Yeah,
sure I got one
that
right.
that old park that you used to go into, it was an amusement park or had a boat launch or something there. You got some really cool tags there. I remember those.
Yeah, here's I got a couple here. Well, this one, let's see. I got to figure out how to do this on the phone, but that's an example of one.
Yeah,
Uh, you
gorgeous,
know,
just
turn of the
gorgeous.
century through to the 20s, but that's from
Right,
the RP Hunt. This is one of these weird steamships that was in on Chautauqua Lake out west.
right. Uh-huh.
So, I like water hunting a lot.
Right.
This time of year it gets a little cold,
Oh yeah.
but I kind of like that 1890s era of stuff, Victorian era stuff. There's so much like thought put into the items when they turn up.
Yeah.
Like I'll show you another example.
I'm actually going to show you a tag. It's not quite one of your luggage tags, but you'll
I don't know
probably
how well you
recognize.
can see that, but that is a
That is
gold.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a gold intaglio like watch charm,
That is beautiful.
but it's from
That
that
is
same
beautiful.
period of time down
Right.
in the water.
Yeah, that Victorian era is awesome. So here we go. I'm going to throw something up here. I was going to wait till later on, but since we're talking about tags, tell me if
Yeah.
you recognize this one. I I that's so cool. Yeah, please tell us the story behind it. I'm gonna take the picture off for a second so we can see you, but that's fantastic.
Acting because I told her the story of this like 2 carat diamond gold ring that got lost off the dock before I was
Oh,
born, probably
cool.
in 1985. I still haven't found this thing, by the way. Uh, and she's like, "Well, why don't you get a metal detector?" I'm like, "Because it's underwater." She's like, "Yeah, they work underwater." I'm like, "Oh." So I got a detector, and she took the liberty. I spent so much time looking for this thing that she had some aluminum plates. She engraved them and tossed them around in the lake for me to get my blood flowing. So I have
Man,
all these door plates that I found down there.
yeah.
She was so kind.
I I remember thinking this, okay, because you described it on your deal, and I saw you find this plate underwater and all that stuff. I had no idea that it was something that was planted by her until you
Yeah,
told the
yeah.
story, right? And I knew right then. I thought, man, that is marriage material right there.
Thankfully, we got married. It took. I think. I knew
Yeah.
her 10 years or something like that. I met her
Um,
car racing actually. We were doing
right.
something similar to what you think about the Cannonball Run. It was
Uh huh.
similar to
Yeah. Tell,
that.
tell us about that. Right.
So we were doing it was I want to say it was 240-mile road race through the Adirondack Mountains with a bunch of other cars. It was pretty intense, and I met her doing that.
Hmm.
And it was like one of those things. She invited me to go to SCCA racing. I went, and she found out I had a jet ski, so she came over, and she just never stopped coming over.
Yeah. Cool.
You know? I have seen Vice Grip Garage. That guy, I can see some of the questions they pop across, but to answer that question, I watch that every so often. That dude is living the life I probably should have been living 15 years ago.
Uh
You
huh.
know, he's pulling the kind of cars that I would drag out of fields and get going again and drive
Right.
around and sell me. That's exactly what he's doing. I love watching him for like that kind of that
Yeah.
feel.
Neat. Neat.
I wish more people did it, to be honest, because
Yeah.
old cars are just they're just people aren't
They're
saving.
cool. They're cool, and I find a lot of old car parts. Detecting bunches of them. That's Shane from Ohio River History chiming in. We're at a little after 6. So Patrick, I'm going to be doing my first of 2 giveaways here shortly, and we're going to give away some silver tonight. So the backstory. Well, actually, I'll put it up, and then we can do the backstory. So guys, we're going to go ahead and do our. Well, actually, I haven't even done the Monday Digs lineup. Let me get to that part first. Got to take care of everybody, and then we'll do our first giveaway. But so Hi Ho Live comes on Monday nights for a very specific reason, because it's before Monday Digs, and we have a great lineup of content creators for tonight. So we're on Monday. We're on Hi Ho Live right now. And then at 7:45 Eastern, I have us on auto redirect. So if you just stay right on the live, it will redirect you to the first of the videos. And tonight, Hi Ho Silver is all about the Benjamins. We and I'm going to say Franklin in parentheses. All about the Benjamins for Hi Ho Silver. Then we dig it at 8 o'clock, and we dig it is he's swearing it's as pretty as gold. So that'll be quite interesting. Then following that, we've got Metal Detecting Mermaid at 8:15. That's her normal spot, and she's bringing it home tonight. She's got the a volleyball court, so I'm quite interested to see that. Following that is Florida Thunder Digging with Rob at 8:30, and following him is Ohio River History, a founder of Monday Digs, and he's got a drained lake video, and those tend to be very cool. So we'll do that one, and then Bat and Cleanup tonight is Dropped and Forgotten. He's me and Julio down by the schoolyard. He's got some schoolyards to hunt there. So that will be our Monday Digs lineup, and that represents a fair bit of human energy and time to put that lineup together and get it all edited correctly and get it all up there. So thank you guys for being here and doing that. Now, as far as the giveaways go, our first one tonight is about the Hi Ho Silver Monday Dig video. And what I do with that, Patrick, is I put some sort of a clue or some sort of a thing in the video. They have to answer it correctly in the comments, and then we do the giveaway on Monday on Hi Ho Live. So we're about to do the first giveaway there. In this particular case, my reputation is that in metal detecting we have this thing we call a cycle, and that's a quarter and a dime and a nickel and a penny. Okay, and in my case, I tend to hunt the same kind of places over and over again. Yards in homes built in the 1920s. I mean, I just do it over and over again. So I find a lot of the same things. But so a high hose cycle is a dog tag,
Mhm.
a toy, usually a toy car, but a dog tag, a toy, a key, and a piece of silver. All right, that's the high hose cycle. And I find some form of those four things over and over and over again. Once in a while, in one video, I hit all four of them, and that's when the high ho cycle is activated. So even though I'm proud of it, it may seem dorky. um, Tonight's prize, and this is the same for every high ho cycle, is silver that's been dug right here in Kansas City, and it is a World War II collection. And so we have a Washington 1942 quarter, a war nickel 1942, a Mercury dime 1942, and a wheat penny, 1942. So that is tonight's that's the Hi Ho Cycle Prize, and we're going to all of these 20 folks here all answered cycle correctly to be involved in the giveaway. So good luck, guys. You got a 1 in 20 chance. And I do want to send out an apology. I did get a couple of comments back on different videos that I might have missed a person in the in that actually answered correctly. So I changed up my method on how I transcribe from the comments over to my own spreadsheet to come up with the cycle contestants. So I'll apologize in advance if I miss anybody, but that should happen pretty rarely at this point going forward. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and pick the winner for tonight's Hi Ho cycle, and let's see who it is. I hope it's somebody who likes the 19, the World War II era and likes silver because that's what's coming. And the winner is Detect Big Smile. That's Peter. I don't think Peter's won anything before, so or at least not on my show. So yeah, very cool, very cool. I'm going to jot that down. Patrick, do you know that channel, Detect Big Smile?
I don't.
He's a super guy, and I want to say he's in Wisconsin, but at any rate, he's a good fella, and I've got to get this because I'll forget it. Detect, dig, smile. Okay, cool, 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 and that is cycle. All right, thanks. Let's get back to our checks. I'll guarantee you there's questions or comments in here for you. But I'm pretty far behind. One of the things that I don't know if you've ever done it before, Patrick, but one of the things I learned right quick is to do these lives, you better be ready to do some multitasking. Um,
Not my
and
specialty.
yeah, it's not mine either at all, at all. Umbrella Grat. Hey, Menardo, good to see you tonight, man. Let's see here. Headed to work. Okay.
Gosh, I work a lot on my headspace, relic rack. I wish I could convince myself that I enjoy the editing part.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I've got some tools that have helped me make it a little bit easier, but it's still, man, yeah, no matter how you do it, it's a time consuming process. So, um, all right, so that's the thing for there. I've got one more of your finds that I went back to go and well, I went
Oh
back
boy.
to go and see. So I wanted to pat you on the back first of all, not just for finding gold, but anybody who anybody who is doing metal detecting on their honeymoon, man, that's the guy for me. I'm telling you right now. So what's that now? Oh, that's it. I told you she was a keeper. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's uh-huh. Right. Yep. Wow.
at least.
Man, oh man, that's
So it
incredible.
was just all rings all the way, and
Yeah.
all men's
Oh wow.
rings.
That is so cool.
The
And they're
ladies were
young though
smart
too.
enough to take the rings off at the resort.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I do love the underwater hunting, and that's another one that you helped me with. I saw your review on the Nemo, and I got one of the last ones they actually made.
Mm,
I don't think it's even in production anymore. They've gone to the
no,
next one, the Nomad or the whatever. But I've used it. Another thing that you were really insistent about or emphasized was the safety factor of it. And
mm,
uh, I really appreciate that because I practiced in a pool a couple of times, but it's not the same as being out there on it. And in my case,
yeah,
it was Aruba, but it was challenging. Let me put it that way to get it all correct first and be safe with it and actually be able to detect and that kind of thing because I had no scuba experience at all.
yeah.
Um,
It's a funky thing. Those hookah systems, they have a training program that's kind of
mhm,
virtual that you can go through, but it's
right,
not required. It really, I feel like it should be. I mean, I talked to one person who bought one of these things, and he almost killed himself using it
man.
because the first thing he did was take it to a hydroelectric dam and go swimming around there. And so he got pulled into an underground tree because there was so much current.
Oh my,
And it was one of those things where not a good experience for him. And
right,
having had the conversation, it's like, geez, this is something you really need to train with
yeah.
in an
These
environment that's very neutral, like no current. You can see what you're doing. Spend a lot of time in the swimming pool.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I had the Nemo. I ended up selling that this past summer because the batteries are getting old.
Mhm.
I can't imagine anybody who had used it as much as I had used that machine. And there's nothing wrong with the batteries or anything like that. It's just I started thinking 10 feet. 10 feet was not enough hose for me.
Right.
And so when the Nomad came out, and I think that does 30. I'm not doing 30 because I'll spend 8 hours underwater. Like I'll come up and go
Wow.
back down, but I'll spend a
Right.
consecutive 8 hours, which
Right.
is you can't do that going deeper.
Yeah.
You'll build nitrogen and stuff in your blood.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
good. So, but like that 10 to 15 foot mark, I spent a lot of time around there in the lake out back, and that's when you
Uh-huh.
talk about the trolley park. That that's kind of outside. So I don't live where I live, maybe a mile and a half away, but it's on the same body of water.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still trying to figure out that spot because 100,000 people here used to go there, but it's
Right.
also it's right at this interesting geologic formation. So at the south end of the lake, there's a 120-foot hole that goes straight down,
Oh my. Wow.
and that hole is anoxic. There's no oxygen in the water. It's one of only 8 places in
Uh,
the country
so
like it.
nothing lives down there or
Nothing.
yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow.
So it's funky in the sense where they like Union College will study it because it's one of the only places in the United States where it's very similar to when you think about sampling ice cores. So when they'll in the middle of winter when the lake's frozen, they'll go out and drill these
Yeah.
holes, and when they have never reached bottom because they go deep enough where it's actually shearing these drill heads off in 20,000-year-old trees
That
that's
is
still on the bottom.
crazy. Patrick, I'm getting some comments here that they people can't hear you, and so I apologize. I
Oh,
can hear you just fine on my end.
all
I
right.
don't know if I need to try to reset something or if we can just maybe get a little closer to the mic. I can hear you just fine. Um, so I'm gonna ask that.
I'll
I'm
get
a
a
little
little.
behind on the chat, guys, but if Patrick, if you can hear him now, give me a thumbs up or something like that.
Yeah, that hole. There's some fun thing. There's a so in 1923, a lady drove to that park with her supposed enormous car, whatever that means in 1923, and
Okay.
she took off an enormous diamond ring and put it in the glove box, and then went down to go swimming. Well, the car, she forgot to set the brake, so the car went off the cliff and into the water and sank to the bottom of this hole. So
Oh,
I thought, well, geez, you have a Bugatti and an Italian lake that got raised up, and that's sitting in an auto museum. All right, I got that in my back of my head. What kind of car would be enormous in 1923? I'm thinking Duesenberg, I'm thinking Auburn, I'm thinking Cord,
right.
and the lake's anoxic. So in theory, this thing is preserved down in the depths.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Well, we ran towed sonar through there, like commercial towed sonar,
Uh huh.
and I can't find it. Here's the problem. Even the leaves that go to the bottom of the lake, they don't decompose because there's no anaerobic
Oh yeah.
bacteria.
There's no nothing to eat them and decompose them.
Right.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
So I don't know where that car is,
Yeah.
but it is down there, and I keep searching for it. And
Right.
I had a Union College professor before COVID trying to help me find it. And I
Wow.
thought it'd be real cool in
That's
2023 to
very
raise it
cool.
out. That'd be a heck of a story.
Yeah, Patrick, I want to backtrack for a second. I made
Sure.
an operational error before, and when I was showing the picture of the dork plate and the ring, I didn't include you in the scene, so
Oh,
no one could hear your explanation. Uh,
oh,
so I apologize, but I'm going to throw that up there right quick and just give us the quick thumbnail on the story
sure.
behind it because no one heard your version of it. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. My wife got me into metal detecting because of the lost wedding ring in our lake off the dock. And so when I started spending a lot of time, she convinced me that metal detectors worked underwater. So I got one. And when I started spending all my time underwater, she thought the loving thing to do would be to engrave some aluminum plates saying dork and then sprinkle them throughout the lake for me to find. So I found a few. I found a few.
That's so
But
cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, one more time too on the ring, because all they could hear was my end of it. So
oh, okay. So when I went on our honeymoon, my wife encouraged me. She said, you should detect while we're down there because it's a resort. I'm sure a lot of newlyweds lose their rings, and I was all about it. And so we had a running bet going of, are you going to find more men's rings or women's rings? I found zero women's rings down there, by the way. So ladies, you're smart
yeah,
enough to take off your rings before you go swimming. I totally get it.
right,
Probably learned from losing a silver ring. Men
right.
have not had that. We lost a lot of rings. I found 10. As I'm going through the water, I see another coil swipe through the water. I get up. It's the jet ski instructor who's got about 100 grand in platinum rings around his neck from finding other people's rings.
That is so cool.
So,
So cool. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we've got about 25 minutes left before we're signing off. I had a couple of other things to get to, so we're going to go ahead and do our second giveaway tonight. And the way this one works, Patrick, is first of all, it's sponsored by High Plains Prospectors. If you have any sort of metal detecting needs or any sort of treasure hunting, gold prospecting, High Plains Prospectors will help you out. They've got great prices. If you use that particular QR, that link in the middle there, that is an affiliate link, and I will get a little love on it. But no matter how you get there, use the discount code HIHO5 when you check out, and you'll just get an automatic additional 5% off. So the way this particular giveaway works, Patrick, is that um, we have six different Monday Digs creators tonight, and on each of their videos, if you comment Monday Digs, uh, each one of those comments is worth one entry into the Monday Digs contest. So you can see here we've got 140 plus entries. I hope you guys can read that. It's starting to get so big that I can barely fit it on one screen. But at any rate, these are the folks who put the Monday Digs comment in the other people's videos. Some of you have 5 or 6 or 7 entries, so thank you for that. Appreciate that very much. Tonight's prize is another silver quarter. It'll be a Washington quarter, and it was dug right out of the ground right here in Kansas City. And this time, when we go to spin the wheel, we it looks kind of like a sundial or some other kind of thing there. But anyway, we've got quite a few entrants, and good luck. This is for a Washington silver quarter, and we'll see who wins it. And good luck and good luck and good luck. I hope that's coming through. It's real slow on my end. Marty Bristow. Way to go, Marty. Now for Marty, this is one where you've got to be present to win. So please put it in the chat that you're here. I'll try to set up a 2-minute timer um, and I'm setting that up right now. Okay, 2 minutes and counting. Marty, I hope you're here. All right, we're going to transition to this again now. Patrick, thanks for hanging in there.
Of course.
And let's see here. Yeah, sorry about the audio there, guys. That was on my end. It was nothing to do with Patrick. Oh, there you go. He says drag some big magnets to find that car.
I know. I agree.
Yeah.
And so here's the strange part. I've tossed some fishing magnets down there.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken water samples. So here's part of the problem. This is why nobody dives it. I've taken deep water samples from there, and so what you have to imagine is you have a cylinder that's expanded, and when you send it all the way down there, it's open, and the way to close it is you drop a weight, and it slams this cylinder closed.
Okay.
So we have this cylinder where we've taken water samples from down there, and you pull it out, and it's like eerily green, right? You can see through it. As soon as you crack the vacuum seal on it, the entire thing looks like it turns to liquid rust
Oh, it
because
just oxidizes right immediately.
immediately you can
Okay.
see the rust flow right through it, just like
Right.
old antifreeze or something.
Yeah.
So there is some truth to things won't decompose, but they enter this weird state where they're super depleted. So it's like all the oxygen. It
Right.
gives me the vibe that if I pulled out something from down there, it might be like that scene from Indiana Jones where the guy like just turns to dust in front of your eyes from drinking from a round cup, right? I don't think that would be true of a car, but a car that era, 1923, it would have steel frame, probably steel body, but a lot of it's wood. So
Mhm.
I'm super skeptical about I don't know where to drop. I've just dropped magnets and I haven't really picked anything up on them, even though I got to tell you, I have a severe when you detect as much as some of us in this chat detect
Right.
the magnet fishing thing. I just it's not enough of an endorphin hit, guys. It's not. I'm not finding guns down there, right? It's not.
Right. That's
I
funny.
say that, and it's funky. My neighbor, the oldest house on our street, is actually down the road here, which is super odd because the road didn't exist until probably 1925, and the house from the 1880s. So somebody built this house essentially in the middle of a swamp, and then they built the road to it much later.
Mhm.
Her grandson jumped off the dock, and he used to kick off the bottom, and he'd kick off this metal thing. And the woman goes, "Oh, your grandfather lost a crescent wrench down there." So when the grandfather died, the kid's like, "Well, I'm going to get back his crescent wrench." And he pulled out an old revolver. Is what he was kicking off of.
Wow.
And the theory is that the house that was old was some kind of social club where gangsters would hang out. That's the only justification I've ever heard
Huh.
for guns and the like there.
That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time. We got just about 15 minutes. Marty, I saw that you were here, so you're in good shape. So for Peter, I will try to contact him. I don't know if he's here tonight, but for Marty, please email me at the email going by below there. Please email me your mailing address, and I'll make sure that you get that. So I had a couple of things. I've made promises to folks. Patrick, I got back on Friday afternoon from Florida, and uh, one of the things that happened last week is I met some kids on the beach. I don't do a lot of park hunting and a lot of public hunting because I kind of zone in on these yards, and I'm
Yeah.
really they're more lucrative, if you will. But anyway, I don't have to deal with the trash and the people so much. But there's lots of friendly people on the beach, and so one of them actually had me do a video there, and they the mother took the video and she actually sent it to me. And then they were actually on the live last week when I was doing it from Florida. I actually did the live from Florida while we were on vacation. And I couldn't get the video up in time. I couldn't manipulate the text and figure out how to get it broadcast. So I promised her that I would play that tonight. So now it's short, so I'm going to let it repeat a couple of times, guys. But these were kids that were quite kind, and they were, you know, as usual, kind of fascinated with the whole specter of treasure hunting. But these were good kids, so I promised them that I'd put them on YouTube here.
Ready? Okay, guys. 1, 2, 3. Like and subscribe. Ready? Okay, guys.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Like and subscribe.
Okay. Well,
Ready?
they were quite insistent about getting on, so I figured I would hand it to them. The next thing I want to bring up is I really want to encourage people to send in pictures of your finds if you like that. Send in pictures of you kissing a fish if that's what, if you're brave enough to do that. Any goofy pictures, any things, anything to make fun of Hi Ho Silver, all those are completely fair game. And this week, Anna, the metal detecting mermaid, actually sent me a picture. This is really cool. Now, if you don't know Anna, Patrick, she lives in Puerto Vallarta, and she's a new detectorist. She's only been detectoring right, for about a for about a year.
We're making up the lexicon as we go.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, everybody's just kind of fallen in love with her, and including myself. And so she sent me this really thoughtful deal. Now she knows I'm a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. This is a picture of the Gusto Lounge, or it should be the Gusto Lounge. That's in Puerto Vallarta. There's a Chiefs bar in Puerto Vallarta. So I know not everybody has an NFL affiliation, but I think that's about as cool as it gets. And so if you have a local Chiefs bar that you haven't egged or you know haven't been escorted off the premises or something like that, you're welcome to send that to me. So I'd love to share your life and whatever is fun for you on Hi Ho Live. That would just I just get a big kick out of it. So let's. One thing, Patrick, I mentioned that I got back on Friday afternoon from Florida. Well, I'm a part of Ring Finders, and I received a call from Ring Finders and went and found this gal's ring that she. I would love to tell you it's a real wholesome story, right? But the truth is, it was a lover spat, and the ring went flat. They have matching Cartier gold rings right here, and wouldn't you know it, she took his ring and threw it. So, but I was able to get across the street there and find that thing, and I actually have another one lined up for tomorrow. So I don't know if anybody's ever interested in being involved with ring finders. There's lots of ways to do it. I really love the aspect of it where people are just returned. They have this really valuable item. Most of the time, there's way more sentimental value than there is actual dollars and cents value. And you know, I've had women trembling in my arms. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm a happily married guy, but what I'm saying is it's a very emotional event for some people. I don't have the same emotion tied to my wedding band. I lost my wedding band about 10 years ago. And after a couple of years, my wife said, here's another one. uh, but, but I may be in the minority or something like that because lots of people really do have a very high sentimental value to their jewelry and that kind of thing. So it's just a fun thing to be a part of them getting it back. Many of them are despondent. It's like we're never going to find it. I've looked. I've rented a metal detector. I bought a metal. You know, whatever. The whole story there. So it's neat to be a part of. Um, mm, 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 mm. This is Ohio River. MF is working. So is panning. Is that? Oh, magnet fishing. Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I really have fallen in love. Oh, here we go. Here's our. This is Buckle Boy. Here's our guest for next week, and
I
real
used to
sweet.
do a lot of I didn't use magnets. I used hooks. And
Uh-huh.
this is an odd story. So I live on a peninsula, and on the opposite side of the road is this open water swamp. And when I was a kid, I used to throw hooks in there and pull things out of the swamp
Right.
because forever people dump metal in there to the point where I remember going on vacation once with my parents. We got back and there was 3 cars sitting in the driveway. And so this is how the story goes. My parents, they don't live here anymore. They used to live a couple houses down, and in between where I live and where they live, there was somebody who was stealing and stripping cars. This is like the '80s. I had no idea this was
Okay.
going on,
Okay.
and they were dumping the carcasses in the swamp. So at the opposite end of this dead end street was a bar. Guy gets drunk, takes a left instead of a right, drives to the end of the street, misses the end of the road, drives his car into the swamp.
Into the
Car
swamp.
sinks. He
Okay.
gets out. Calls a
Right.
tow truck. Tow truck comes. Yeah, I'm not getting in the swamp. So he jumps in with a bunch of cable, hooks onto the bumper of his car, pulls out the car, not his car. Does that 2 more times before he found his car.
Oh my gosh.
So we had these 3 rotted
Right.
'70s cars sitting in the driveway from when this dude went swimming in the swamp. But I used to pull a lot of crap out of there.
Oh, that's crazy. That is that's amazing actually.
Yeah.
And it's so often as I'm asking for permissions or something like that, there'll be some mob tied to the house. You know, some nefarious activity that was going on or something like that. Is that, well, I heard about this, you know, or I found this in the walls in the basement or that kind of thing. Detective Smile, Peter. Yes, you did win. So thanks for chiming in, and you certainly did win. I
That's
mean,
another occupation I'd love to get involved in is just not necessarily fixing homes, but stripping the walls to find all the cool things inside.
right, right.
Gosh, I demolished the 2 houses next door, and I spent time like shooting video and stuff. I never
Uh-huh.
put any. I have so many videos I've never published, but that was part of the appeal. Was in the most random nooks and crannies of the house. You wonder how this stuff would get there. I would
Right,
find one toy buried in a baseboard downstairs, and somewhere in a random corner of a different part of the house, I'd find another toy. So you start asking yourself, like, are rodents dragging this stuff around? Like,
right,
no,
right.
you know.
One of the things that I've morphed my game into, if you will, is I have a half a dozen guys now, or one of them's female, but a half a dozen folks now that do. I'll call it home renovation, but they're flippers, right? And and they're buying these homes in 1910, 1920, 1930, and they're flipping them. And they all have stories of cool stuff that they found
Yeah.
in the basement walls or the other kinds of things there. It's a really quite common, so that's neat.
When my mother, her family moved here from Canada back in the late '60s, they moved up into this place called Queensbury. Well, the story of this area in New York, a lot of the generals during the Civil War had property up here as well as down south. So you'd have two sort of officers that had, even though they're fighting on opposite sides of the war, they
Hmm.
might have land right next to each other. Well, I bring that up because there's this story that circulates in my family that when they moved to this house on Fuller Road, I mean, there was chains in the basement from having slaves chained up, kind of deal.
Wow, wow.
And out in the barn was all this ornate furniture. My grandfather wanted to use the barn, so he burned the furniture, and along with the furniture, he burned 3 trunks, bottom to top, full of Confederate cash. Because at that time, it was literally not worth the money. It wasn't
Right.
worth
It
anything.
wasn't.
In the
Yeah.
1960s, that stuff had zero value. So he
Yeah.
burned it all. And it was like, dude, today that's worth more than face value.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Oh wow. Wow.
But
That's
imagine dumping that much on the market at any given time. It'd be like, well, this is the coolest hoard of all time. But, you know,
right. Right. That
so
is
it
that
just
is
goes to show the funky stories of stuff hidden around.
yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. Um, okay, I'm fairly behind on the chat, and I do want to catch up. But one more time, I'm going to go through our lineup tonight, right quick. And this is the lineup for Monday Digs. We'll go with Hi Ho Silver to start things off. Let me get that rid of that. Hi Ho Silver to start things off. We Dig It at 8. Metal Detecting Mermaid at the volleyball court at 8:15. Florida Thunder Digging with Rob at 8:30. Ohio River History at 8:45, and Jeff dropped and forgotten down at the schoolyard at 9 o'clock. The Yeah, that's our lineup for tonight. I also want to make sure that for folks who didn't know, Finding America, Greg Pickens, he passed away last night, and he was just such a kind human, and I wish I'd gotten to know him a little bit better. But our sincere condolences to the family, and my favorite nautical salutation, fair winds and following seas to that guy. Whatever's next for him, I'll bet it's pretty cool. Let's go back to here. Patrick, you've been so engaging tonight, man. I really appreciate you being here and doing it on the fly. Uh, I actually miss your videos, but man, life is full, and unless you're just dead set on making videos, it's not like it just happens. I mean,
I know.
it's preparation and execution, and then follow on, and then it starts over again because you've got to whatever. So anyway, thank you. You're a good human, and all the stuff I said about you in the beginning. Um,
Well, thanks for having
you,
me. I appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. You're everything that I said in the beginning is true. They're all little snippets of a way that you've impacted my life and my little short video treasure hunting career. So thank you very much.
Well, if you ever find yourself in New York, look me up.
I am going to do that. I promise you, I'm going to do that. So thank you so much, and I'll bid you a fond farewell, and I'm going to do a little housekeeping here, and God bless you. Congratulations on your nuptials.
Thanks. Have a great night.
Thanks, buddy. See you. Okay, let's get back to the chat here if we can, and I want to get caught up there. Yeah, car keys. Yeah, that's I get calls for car keys in the snow quite a bit. Sorry, Angie. He was for his channel was is Amphibious Detecting. He's not posting current videos now, but he's from New York, and just a real good Joe. For those of you who are going to do the Monday Digs lineup, I do have the automatic redirect set up, so you can just hang on to this channel. It'll happen in about 3 or 4 minutes, where you'll automatically get redirected to the first of the videos tonight. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that. And Peter, I will reach out to you, or if you can email me at the email below, I'll send out your prize. So, and you got a really nice prize there, Peter. That is the Hi-Ho Cycle prize, and that's a Washington quarter, a Mercury dime, a war nickel, and a wheat penny, all from the same year, dug right here in Kansas City by yours truly. So I hope it's as fun. I hope it's as fun for you as it is for me. Hey, very cool, Peter. 3 ring recoveries, fantastic. I love it, man. That is such a neat deal. Oh, here we go. We dig it. Beautiful beach hunt tonight, so we are definitely going to line up. Yeah, Buckle Boy, thank you. Great lineup tonight. Keep digging. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the sentiment on Greg. I'm going to keep going until we cut off there, so just bear with me. There you go, Jim. I wonder if he's detecting in heaven, and I'll bet he's doing something fun for sure. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I'll be in contact with you on the other stuff we've been talking about this week. Um, mm, 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 mm. Property lines are my jam. There you go. I've only gotten a couple of calls for those, and it's a little bit hit or miss. And oh, look here, Relic Rat joined the Ring Finder. So good on you, Cliff. I appreciate that. I'll be interested to talk with you about that sometime, Peter, because I do get calls, but not all of the yards here, or not all the properties here, actually have markers. So, but that's cool. Yeah, thank you, Peter. I'll gotcha. Oh, thank you, Torchy. I'm sorry that wasn't nearly as clear as I was hoping it would be, but that's kind. I appreciate the sentiment very much. Let's keep going on the chat, and I may be getting cut off here. I'll go just one more. I think I'm finally caught up with the Buckle Boy. Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, and we'll tag up before Hi Ho Live. So thank you everyone for being here. That's really great, and I appreciate you so much. Check out Monday Digs, and love you guys.